Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this week's episode of the Podiatry Legends Podcast, a podcast on help you feel, see, and think differently about the podiatry profession. With me today is a good friend. It is Dr. Peter Wishnie. We met back in 2013 in Nashville, which was a fun event. It was at a top practices event. Since then, Peter and I have been good friends. We caught up recently in Arizona for Business Black Ops, 3 days together. So, Peter, it's great to have you back on the podcast for your third visit.
Always great to be here, Tyson. It's like just talking to a friend through Zoom, so it's great.
And we are going to catch up in the not too distant future in New York City. So I'm looking forward to that. And so is my wife and daughter, because as we refer to you as the Godfather. So we're going to get shown around New York by the Godfather. So it should be pretty exciting.
Yes, looking forward to sharing you with some of the greatest pizza in the world.
Yeah, that's what we're after. We're after really good pizza. Now, The reason I got you back on here again is because we spent a few days together at Business Black Ops. And one of the things that really, one of my biggest takeaways from that event was when Dave Freeze was talking about scarcity and abundance. And sometimes if you have a scarcity mindset, it can really limit your potential. Whereas you have an abundance mindset, it can really just open everything up. And some people think if they're taking something, or if they've got something, it means they're taking away from somebody else. Whereas you and I know, like, we're both in the same space. We both do business coaching. And some people will be thinking, why are you guys working together? Or why are you on the same podcast together when you're doing pretty much the same thing, but we're different?
We are different, besides our accents, but we're also the same. That's sort of a paradox right there, right? We're talking about paradoxes in Business Black Ops. Yeah, we're different people. Some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla.
Yeah.
There's plain vanilla around, there's plain chocolate around. And it's the mindset that we really need to think of. It's the same thing when we were practicing podiatry. I don't know about where you practice, Tyson, but in New Jersey, I was like 2 blocks away from my competitor who had a very thriving practice as well. And then we had, in the same town of 44,000 people, 2 more podiatrists. And then in my other practice, I was like only the second podiatrist there, but then an orthopedic surgeon came around, then another podiatrist opened up. And now there's, like, in the same building, there's another podiatrist, a part-time podiatrist. And I don't really worry about that, because all you have to, competition's a good thing. It allows you to not really sit on your laurels and be laid back. It allows you to still, it forces you to become the best you can possibly be. And just focusing on you, your business, your clients, your patients. And I'm sure you don't go around every single morning and go, what's Peter doing today? Right?
I stalk you on Facebook when I wake up.
Right, yeah. The first thing, right?
First thing.
We're just thinking about what we're going to do today for our clients and how to make it better.
I'll admit, I see a lot of the stuff that you post, and I look forward when I see you posting something, think, what will I learn from Peter today? And there's other business coaches that I follow. They go, what will I learn from them today? I don't look at them as competitors. I look at them as associates in the same industry. We've had the same background. We've both been in podiatry for 30 plus years. We've both had practices. We've both sold them. We both did pretty well from it. So we're very similar in a lot of ways, but there will always be people that will go, I would really love to work with Peter Wishnie. And there'll be other people who say, I really want to work with Tyson Franklin. And which is why I think it's great that there's those options out there.
Right. I can't see everyone, and neither can you. And I know the people I work best with, and so do you. It's just in anything. The scarcity mindset limits you. It's a limiting mindset. It prevents you from being the best you can possibly be. And there's plenty to go around. It's the same thing with money. People have problems with money with that scarcity mindset. They really do. People have abundance mindset. That mindset allows them to, they're inviting more to them, to get more, right? If you have scarcity, you're limiting the amount of wealth that can possibly come your way.
Yeah, well, that was one of the quotes from Business Black Ops. If you have an abundance mindset, you will achieve more, but also your clients or patients will pay more. And like, I know when I had actually, I'll go back, story that only happened yesterday. I went to the dentist, go into this building, in the same hallway, I reckon 20 meters apart, or 30 feet probably in US terms, there's 2 dental clinics there, 30 feet apart. And I know both the owners. One I actually go to, but the other one I used to go to. And they both have thriving businesses, and they are 30 feet apart.
Right.
And I'm sure when one of them gets too busy, they probably send the patients down the corridor. And when one goes on holidays, they probably do the same thing. And they're probably helping each other, and they're both thriving.
Oh, that's great if they do that. In New Jersey, they're not doing that. Oh, New York City. I mean, that's the great thing about Business Black Ops, top practices, AAPPM. People are there and they share ideas with one another. But in the bigger organizations, there's more of a threat. Doctors, you ever hear this, Tyson? Someone says, "How you doing?" And one person says, "Oh, life sucks, practice sucks," right? And someone else says, "Oh, it's amazing. And I just bought my latest Rolls Royce and I got a gold watch and all that great stuff." It is never as bad as they say it is, and is never as good as they say it is.
That's true.
Right, yeah. So no, like Dave said at the Business Black Ops, which I know always the case, the first answer is never the correct answer, right? It's never really the true answer. When you ask someone, "How are you doing?" It's never really the real answer.
Yeah, I remember a story once, and it was a young kid went to his dad and said, "Dad," and had this question. And he says, "I'm not quite sure. Why don't you ask your mother?" And he said, "I didn't really want to know that much about it." Because the mother may have the information and be giving a very big, long explanation on how it all works. He's like, "I just wanted the simple answer." And I think that's what happens when we ask people, "How are you doing?" They give us a simple response.
Right.
Either good or bad.
Right. Because most people don't really want to hear the answer. It's just the person asking the question, are they truly asking that because they really care?
Nah.
Right. Or they just like walking by, "How you doing?" It's like basically another way to say hello.
I remember Zig Ziglar used to always say, when somebody said to him, "How are you doing?" and he'd say, "If it was any better, I'd think the deck was stacked." And I thought, what a fantastic response. And he said he would say that regardless of what was happening, it was always a positive. But can you imagine saying to a friend, "Oh, how are you doing?" All of a sudden they go, "Oh," and all of a sudden they started dumping all their problems on you. You'd be going, "That is the last time I'm ever going to ask them how they're doing."
Oh, by the way, that's a technique that as a physician with a patient, if you really want to be in the treatment room forever, ask them how they're doing versus how is that problem that they came in last time doing? How is that bunion doing? How's that ingrown toenail doing? And then while you're working on them, you can ask what else is going on with your life. But the initial question, "How are you doing?" That's just an open-ended question. You could be there all day long.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, you really don't want to know. You really want to know about their problem. Hey, so going back about...
But on time, I'm going to be behind them. The next patient's going to do the same thing.
So going back about podiatrists and abundance, having that abundant mindset, I do recall when I had my clinic here in Cairns, there were probably, I think when I sold maybe 8 or 9 other podiatry clinics, never had anything to do with anyone. There was one particular podiatry clinic that was here when I first got here. And the owner, eventually the owner of that one, didn't like me at all, did everything he could because he had that scarcity mindset. He really thought that every patient I was getting, I must have been stealing from him, not realizing, the patients I was getting, I was generating from my marketing. These patients never would have seen you because you were not the type of clinic that they wanted to go to. You didn't provide the quality of work that they were actually after. So I was never taking anyone from him, but he had that mindset that I was. And we were never friends. And my business succeeded and his business went down the gurgler.
Always the case when you try and protect your little entity. You see that a lot in medical business ownership, where you have associates. And I see too many times where the owner does not share the numbers with the associate. They're like, oh, just trust me. Trust me. I'm writing you a check and it's going to be exactly what I owe you, but I don't
Yeah.
want you to really know how much money I'm bringing in because, again, that's a scarcity mindset. They're just afraid to release the information, and then they have no compete clauses in their contract. Well, I mean, we had them because my lawyer said I should have them, but I really didn't care if they opened up across the street if they left because they never paid attention to the systems I put in place. They followed them, but a few of them who left and went on to their own clinics, they will call me up like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm fine. I mean, I don't, they were not even near me, so I'm okay with that. And you be okay if they were across the street because most people, Tyson, won't do what we did for 30 plus years.
It's true.
Right? We can give you the playbook. And again, that Pareto principle, 80% of the people just won't do it, even though they know what to do. Even if you gave them the recipe, that's why they hire coaches, by the way. They hire us because they want the accountability from us. They want someone to basically tell them what they need to do, in what order they should do it, and just give them the cookbook and then make sure they get the cookbook done, right? So, but the average person doesn't do. How many times someone buys a course online and doesn't follow through with it and doesn't go through the course?
Yeah, I think it's a huge percentage of people that never finish the courses that they start online.
Right.
And exactly. I do know some of the coaching clients I've had, the ones that have stuck with me for a long period of time, have done quite well. Their clinics have gone 2-3 times more than what they were doing. And I've had other ones that come in for a short stint, do a little bit, and then they bolt off again. I follow their practices. I don't know how many staff they have. I see what they're doing. And they may still grow, but it grows a lot slower because they're not doing all the things that they need to do, like you and I did for 30 plus years.
Right. But again, now that made me think what you just said about what a leader does and a doctor leader. And we have to be really good at delegating because there's certain things we shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Right. Even though we want to do them or we know we should do them, but we need to know the process, how things should get done, so we can then write the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and hand it off to someone so we don't have to do it anymore, which then we just have to make them accountable to us, say, hey, I just did it. What do you think? What else should I do? But we should not be doing certain things. And for example, we should be on social media. We have to shoot our own videos, but we shouldn't be editing them. I don't edit my video person. My social media person is near you in Australia.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So, and because I'm okay putting a camera in front of me and shooting a 2-minute video.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. You are the most camera-friendly person I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you. That means
just when that camera's in front of you and you're doing recording, I don't know, it always comes across, it looks pretty natural. It doesn't look like it's forced. You might just have a really good editor.
That I do. That I do. But trust me, it takes about a few minutes to press play. Anybody out there who's just like, oh, I need to shoot video, I need to do this. We all go through that period of just camera shy or for whatever crazy reason, right? And so, but we know we have a message. You and I have a message, okay? And we want to tell the people out there, hey, this is what you can learn from us after 30 some odd years in practice. We want to help you. And keeping that message to ourselves, well, we're not doing anyone any good by not sharing our knowledge. So that's why you and I are in this business.
I think that's a good point, though. I've shot, if I go through when I was doing the 365-hour mental and physical challenge, just other videos I've done, I've probably shot over 1,300 videos. I'm probably going to do on this afternoon. I still, before I press record, I still don't feel comfortable doing it. But then all of a sudden I press record and I just do it. And I've had people say to me, oh, same thing. Oh, you look really comfortable in front of a camera. No. But I've learned how to, even when they say you get butterflies, I've learned how to keep them in formation when I'm actually doing the video. And then the editing, you can always chop things out if you make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just it's here's the thing: if it's going to help you in your business, just do it. And when it comes to shooting videos for patient education, make believe, take your favorite patient and put that patient in front of your mind and talk to that one patient. By talking to that one patient, it's like you're talking to everyone, or like someone's going to say, "Oh, you're talking to me," kind of thing. And it makes you relax too. Another thing I learned, by the way, in taking some public speaking classes, when people get on stage and get nervous, it's because you're focused on yourself, making sure you're doing a good job and having a great presentation. But if you focus on the audience, take the pressure off yourself. Like, how can I make this point come across for the audience to receive your information? Then it's not about you anymore. It's about them.
I think I saw a video of you. Were you on stage doing a presentation? It was might have been when you were doing a public speaking course. There was I'm sure there was a video where you had to, it looked like it was stepped out, a couple of things that you actually had to go through.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll be doing that again next month. But yeah, like 30 seconds. Just get up there and just say whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I always find, I remember I went through my whole primary school, high school, university without ever getting up and doing a talk. I just hated it. Wouldn't do it. Scared to death.
Oh,
panicking.
Same thing.
And,
exactly.
And then I think back to 2019 when I walked up on stage at the Foot and Ankle Show in front of almost 700 people. And as I'm walking up there thinking, geez, I wish I had my brown pants on. And I was extremely nervous. But my goal was I just wanted to make sure that the people that were there took something away from what I was going to say. And I knew that the nerves, once you get through that first 60 seconds, everything just settles.
Right, yeah. You know what helps me too? Do you know the great actor Henry Fonda? You might know his daughter, Jane Fonda, Henry Fonda, right? So Henry Fonda was one of the great American actors. And when he was acting live in theater on stage, he would actually throw up right before he got on stage every single night. So imagine you're doing the same show 7 times a week. He threw up 7 times every week. Every night he threw up. I'm going, well, if the great actor Henry Fonda has that problem, then I'm not worried that I'm nervous. He's supposed to be nervous.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point too, because people see someone like yourself do a video. They might see one of my videos, or they might see us on stage in front of a large group and go, wow, I could never do that. But I think when they realize we've all been where they are, and even when it comes to just shooting a video for your website or for your YouTube channel that's going to help the people in your community, I think it's one of the things you've just got to learn to overcome that. It's not easy, because if it was easy, then everyone would be doing it. But I think they've got to think about the other podiatrists down the road. If they're not sharing the information with your community, someone has to share it. So it should be you.
Exactly. I always say, do the things that no one else will do. That's basically what we were talking about before. I mean, for me, it was like always calling my new patients the very next day, sending them a new patient letter, calling or sending a review of findings information to the patient's primary care doctor, if they refer them or not, keeping your name in front of these people all the time, where most doctors don't do things like that. They said to me, how can you do that after a while? You have so many new patients. How do you find the time? It was easy, actually. But if there's a will, there's a way. And this reminds me of a quote that I learned from Tony Robbins ages ago. If you know that something is going to help you, or if you have a problem in something, in some area, ask yourself a better question, such as, how can I get this thing done without me doing it and without spending a lot of money? And how can I get it done quickly?
Yeah.
And one of the first times I asked that question was, you don't have this problem in Australia, or maybe a little bit now, from what I understand. But we have all these insurances, and being on the insurance panels happened during my life. At the beginning, it wasn't that way, but then it started happening. And then you had to get referrals, you had to get benefits. So I said, how can I get this done quickly? Because most doctors were just winging it. They still are. They're not like, they don't know the patient's benefits. They don't know if they cover certain things and just winging it and hoping they'll get paid, or hoping
Yeah.
that they send a patient the balance and the patient will pay them. And I worked literally less than about half a mile away from the university and a quarter of a mile from high school. So I got myself a couple high school students. All they did was call the insurance companies for, like, at the time, maybe minimum wage. It might have been like $8 an hour. And that's how I got it done quickly. Got the information, and that's how I did it inexpensively.
I think they're good questions to ask that, because sometimes people will always be thinking, and this is something Dave Fries was talking about, and we were on a webinar this morning, and he was talking about reframing certain questions or inversion thinking. Instead of thinking about, hey, can I do this? You think the opposite. How could you not do it? What are some ways that you could actually really stuff it up and do it wrong? Think about that and then do the opposite. So there's always an answer there. One, if you're asking the right questions and just working your way through it.
And what would it look like? I think that comes from Dave too. What would it look like? What could it look like if I was able to get this done?
Yeah, if it was working. Well, that's what you said about your video editing. You do the videos, but then you hand it off to somebody else and just let them do the editing side of things, because that's not something that you want to do. But I think if you shoot videos and you love the editing and you get a real buzz out of doing it, then do it. But if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
True. However, like, here's an example, like for a doctor, where do you make your money? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Seeing patients, right? So if you're taking time away, not from patients, but actually running the business, looking at your numbers, putting systems together, and you're doing video editing, even though you love doing video editing, it's sometimes better still because it's still better to pass it on to someone else, because what are you paying this video editor, right?
Yeah.
That might be somewhere in the Philippines, and you're paying them maybe $5-6 an hour. What is your time worth? By the way, that video editor can do this project in
probably
half
faster.
Yeah. And then you're putzing around with this thing. My father used to, like, as a hobby, did carpentry, built closets and built things, but he did it on the weekends when he had time. And it took him longer, but it was a hobby. Made him feel good, relaxed his mind, got his mind away from.
But that's what I mean about the video editing. Yeah. I think if you're in work mode and you're wanting to make money, then you should be doing what a podiatrist does. If you enjoy the editing and it's something you want to do after us because you get enjoyment of it, like playing the guitar or baking a cake, then I think you should be doing it if you really enjoy doing it. But if you're doing it and you're going, oh, there's something else where I should actually be putting my time, then that's what you should be doing.
Then you definitely shouldn't be doing it.
No, then you should be actually palming it off.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool.
So we were talking about the scarcity and abundance mindset. And one of the other things we spoke about, which I thought was really important at Business Black Ops, was when they were talking about the robot brain and what percentage of things do we just do day in and day out that the robot is actually controlling, that we're not even thinking about it. We just do it. And pretty sure, what was it, about 95% of what we do is we do it out of just habit and routine.
Right. Well, I remember when you went around the room, asked people, or some people volunteered, like they thought it was like probably 70-80%. And it's like, no, there's no way, like, we control 20 or 30% of our day. It's easy, maybe only 5%. I mean, I wake up almost the same time every day. I do my routine. I have my morning routine, 2 glasses of water, then a cup of coffee with MCT oil in it. And then I read and plan and meditate. And then I go to the gym and I come back. And it's just all autopilot.
So that's your ritual every morning? You do
Just
exactly so.
about.
What time do you wake up?
Now that I am retired a little bit later, usually around 5:30, but I used to
Yeah.
get up around 4:30.
Yeah. What's really
Yeah.
funny is when I had my clinic, I used to get out of bed about 7:30. I would struggle to get my bum at the clinic at 8:30. Once I got there, I was
Oh,
fine. It was fine. Once I
yeah.
got there, I was fired up. But I really struggled because I went to bed so late. Now, and I said, when I sell my clinic and the time is mine, I'm going to sleep in for as long as I want. Now I wake up just before my alarm goes off at 5 o'clock every morning without fail. And I think it's super important to have a morning routine that you go through, even if most of it's controlled by the robot brain. Right. I still think it's important to actually have a routine at the beginning of the day and also a routine on how you end the day, because we were talking about gratitude journals or having a word that prompts you at the start of the day, a gratitude journal at the end of the day, to basically tie things together. Whether you do that or whether you don't, I think it's good to have these rituals, things that you follow. So the robot brain can be good in some ways.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think there's certain parts of the day we should control and think.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how AI affects that. I think now we have less control. Anytime, if you have like, how do I write this post? How do I write this? Or what should I say? Or how do I write this email? We get too much into the AI sometimes it's great, makes things faster, but I'm concerned that we stop thinking.
Yeah, well, one of the things I wrote down was no innovation comes from the robot.
Oh.
So if the whole day is controlled by the robot, no innovation will actually come from that. Therefore, there needs to be certain times of the day where you need to stop and you need to control the day, because no innovation comes from the robot. You've got to create that.
Someone innovated the robot.
Yeah.
True.
And then the other thing they were talking about was, what decisions do you make that are based on past beliefs that no longer serve you? Where sometimes you may think something and that could actually be holding you back. Like, I know some people, you were talking earlier on about beliefs around money. And this is where you can have a scarcity and abundance mindset. But if you've grown up thinking, oh, all rich people are evil, or that term filthy rich, then as the success starts to happen for you and you start to make money, you could sabotage yourself subconsciously because you don't want to be one of those dirty rich people that you've heard of.
It's words are funny because I remember he's talking about filthy rich, and funny how when I hear the word filthy and hear rich, there's like two different things here. But when you put them together, if I'm a concept, Trump can say this in your podcast, it's like using the word shit and then put good in front of it. That's good shit.
Oh, great shit. Yeah.
Right, it's great shit. So, right, yeah. So that's good. So to me, filthy rich is good. That's how my mind looks at it. But based on how your upbringing, filthy rich can be bad. And when you add that in context of money, two different things in my mind.
Yeah. But one of the other examples they gave us when they said, talking about someone, and they said, oh, those people own that. Oh, they're those rich people that own that really big house down the road. But I met them and they're actually really nice people.
Oh, see, yeah.
And how funny is that when someone can say, oh, they own that house or they're this wealthy, but they're really nice people. And if you've been brought up thinking that most rich people are not nice people, and then you meet one and you find that they are nice people, that could actually be holding you back to actually have that thought process.
True. Absolutely. Those are things that are very deep in your subconscious mind and that you don't realize that's hurting you, affecting you, right? And the other things, like when you were talking about this topic here, what came to my mind is imposter syndrome. When you're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as the people next door to me, or not capable of doing what they're doing. And I think that's even more a problem today because of social media. We're comparing ourselves
Oh,
to
yeah,
someone
it's
else,
terrible.
right? And the comparison problem is huge. And we all put our pants on one leg at a time. And I'm going to quote a coach I have is one of the coaches is Jen Gottlieb. She's a woman that wrote the book Be Seen. And she says, everyone poops.
We do.
Everyone poops.
Some
And
more than others.
yeah, exactly.
After the snack shack,
Oh,
I'll point out to people when we're at business
love
black
that ice
ops.
cream.
Yeah, when we're at business black ops, we have the shack that we can go to that's just full of everything. When you were a child, you would have moved in there. You would have moved your bed in there. It's the snack shack. So we destroy that thing over 3 days, and
It has 2 freezers full of ice cream.
and I'm lactose intolerant, but I don't let that stop me.
You kept on eating those ice cream sandwiches.
I know, only because there was no Ben and Jerry's this year. But I usually say to people, being lactose intolerant, it doesn't bother me. It just bothers the people around me. It is a fun 3 days. Which say to anyone listening to this, you would have had me mention business black ops so many times. Mm-hmm. If you want to know more about it, just reach out to Peter or myself. And so, Peter, what's your contact details? If somebody wanted to reach out to you, how do they get hold of you?
Best way to do that is I have a bunch of emails. The best way to do it is drwishnie at gmail.com. It's the easiest way.
Okay. And I'll have it in the show notes. And on Facebook, just look for Peter Wishnie.
Right.
And on LinkedIn, Coach Peter Wishnie. No,
that's right. And Instagram is Coach_Peter Wishnie. So
yeah. And if you don't know how to get hold of me, then you shouldn't be getting hold of me. You shouldn't be getting hold of me. Yeah.
Should be. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what were we up to then? I've lost trash. That's all right.
We're talking business black ops, and that's our good friend Dave Freeze. It's something hard to explain, but it's something that, like you said, needed more information about it. I think in that room, we're using that 5% for sure, maybe more in 3 days, probably more than the 5%.
Oh, over those 3 days, it is like Dave Freeze takes us through stuff. So like the 3 days was split up. This was one of the this year's one was one of the best 3 days I've been through, where the whole first day was all about mindset, thinking about thinking. The second day was all about strategic thinking, thinking about doing. And then the third day was tactical, all about the doing. What I loved is when we were talking about knowing who your avatar is, who is your ideal client or who is your ideal patient. Then where are they on the patient journey? Then what's your call to action? What do you want them to do based on where they are on the patient journey? Then and only then, when you've gone through all that, do you turn to AI for assistance.
Correct.
Whereas I've seen people at the moment, and there's a lot of coaching companies, not super coaching individuals like yourself and I, Peter, but these coaching companies that are just blurting out, hey, use this AI technique and you'll get 50 new patients tomorrow. And I'm like, I call BS on that. What type of patients are you going to attract if you don't know who your ideal patient is? You don't know where they are on the journey, and you don't know what the call to actions are different depending where they are on the journey. So that one AI email that you're sending out might get 50, but there might be 50 that you wish you didn't have.
And as a generalization regarding companies, maybe on the internet, companies that coach coaches or have coaches, or companies that deal with healthcare providers, your practice is different than the guys next to you, and someone else's, and you don't want the same marketing material as everyone else. You need someone who's going to put together information that's specific to your practice. Just like what makes you different than the guy down the street as a podiatrist is that you listen to your patients. You listen not just to, oh, my heel hurts. No, okay, great, your heel hurts, but what kind of occupation do you have? What's your recreation activities? What can't you do because of the pain? Right? And why is this a big problem for you? So let's now get you back to whatever you want, running, walking, playing with your grandchildren, working, at your job and standing all day long, whatever it is. That's what people come in to you for. They don't come in because of heel pain. It's what the heel pain's preventing. So how can someone market you and market someone else with the same material, right? So
yeah,
that's customized.
And when we're talking about big companies too, we're not talking about top practices because they're one of the good guys.
Yeah. I know what you mean. No, I don't. No, that's a great point, but that's not what that is. That's still individualized, small, medium-sized company. We're talking about these huge companies, and trust me, there are good ones out there. It's just that what I'm saying to you is that you need to go and make sure people do something specific for what you do. And what Tyson was saying at the beginning, you need to write down who is your avatar, who's your perfect patient that you want to see. Then you can hire people, then you can do your marketing for that. But that whole process of who your perfect patient is, only you can figure that out.
You can always tell, I think, some of the bigger companies are the ones where you're just in a funnel and they're just churning through it. Because what I usually do when I register for these ones, I'll register a funny name, like I'll have name and I'll put hairy balls, just as an example, or monkey head. I'll put something really funny because then when I get emails from it, so it'll go, hey, hairy balls, I was just thinking about you. And I'm going, you were? It's terrible. So nobody's checking this. Your name's been taken, dumped into a funnel, and then that's how they're pumping out. And I've got some classic funny ones that I've kept where the person has supposedly sent an email through to their assistant. Hey, can you contact Harry Balls? I was just thinking about him. And then it's come from their assistant, but then their message is underneath as though it's like it's been forwarded on. Hey, Harry Balls, thing I was just thinking about you. And I laugh. So if anyone's signed up for those sort of things, just put some funny names. It's very entertaining when you get the emails.
That's great.
And it gives you an idea of how much attention they're actually paying to the database. Because whenever I put a name in my database, I'm checking the name. I check all the details to make sure it's all right.
Right. The more computerized we become, automated we become, the easier way to stand out is where you actually are the person that's shaking hands or making the phone calls or writing the letters, writing the emails, and being more personalized. So the things that we did way back when, that everyone did, because that's the only way to do business back then, back 30 years ago, is now not the common way to do business. And that's, again, how you stand out.
Yeah, it's like you go back years ago and we used to send letters to people.
Yep.
You would send a hard copy letter. I did that all the time, right through the whole time I had my practice. When everybody else has switched over to just sending emails, I was still sending letters. Our success rate from those for recalls, getting people in for orthotics, doing other treatment was absolutely fantastic. Then I know I've had some podiatrists I've worked with and they will only do emails. That's all I'm going to do. Not going to do anything else. But I've had a few that will switch over and go through this, sometimes using letters for certain things. And they go, oh my God, it actually works. I go, I know, it's funny.
But let's think about this. If you had, let's say you have 1,000 emails you're sending out, open rate is only 10%, right?
Yeah.
So what do you have? You have like 100 people, right, answering your emails, and you have 900 people or not. If you happen to send over a period of time 1,000 letters, it's all getting open.
Yeah.
Because it's from your doctor, as your letterhead on it, looks professional, so it's getting open.
So it is. It's one of these things. And even when we used to hand deliver, because in Cairns it's not a big area. But
I thought everything in Australia. So Australia to me looks like a huge landmass that your office is here, and then the next office is like you're gonna have to like
800 miles away.
Yeah.
No, Australia's a big place, about the same size as America, I think. except we only live on the coastline in certain parts, and we don't worry about the middle. There's nothing out there. We don't need to go. I think there is one place. There's Alice Springs in the middle, but we don't go there.
It's like the Midwest for us.
It's hot. Yeah, you can do the weather report on Alice Springs. It's 35 degrees forever. It never changes. It's always hot.
It's in the high 90s. Yeah, I did the math in my head.
Oh, so before we wrap up, I just want to touch on, you've got a book coming out next year called It's Not Your Fault.
Very good. You pay attention. Look at you.
Underneath,
yes.
It's your neighbor's fault. No, that's not written on there.
It's just your fault. Unless I'm going to have a tagline. I haven't figured that out yet, but unless it is, that's going to be basically what it's
true.
Is. Yeah. And it's about the health system here where, okay, someone is controlling the game, and sometimes they don't tell you all the rules to the game. So that part, it's not your fault. But if you continue to complain about the game and not knowing all the rules and not doing anything about that and not changing the way you practice, then it's your fault. So
I agree.
So it's like anything else. If I don't care where you are in the world, life continues to change. Our AI today won't look the same 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Who knows what technology is going to come about years from now? And like, I feel very confident now, and I'm looking at my fiance's parents who are there in the 80s, who are having problems like how to figure out certain things on their phone. Now I'm thinking 20 years from now, when I'm in my 80s, whatever technology comes out, will I be able to learn that technology, or will be frustrated like most octogenarians are, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there'll be certain people, like if I compare myself to my brother, I'm fairly tech savvy with everything. My brother's not. And there's only 3 years difference between us. So I can see him getting to 80 and maybe he will need help. Whereas I'm hoping when I get 80, I'm constantly keeping up to date. Yeah. So when I get microchipped and I just scan everything with my shoulder, I'll be up for that.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bend in. Won't have too much arthritis in my back. But okay, so I think that is a really good thing that it's not your fault, unless it is a good tagline.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. I think there's change, and just telling everybody out there, treat life as a game. Enjoy it. Enjoy the new game, and when that game ends, there'll be another game to be found, and just look for the new game and enjoy the process. I don't think we're always like, I'll be happy when I get this result.
Yeah.
You need to be happy now and on the way to there's never that result. Whatever that result you wanted now is a different result 5 years from now. So enjoy the journey.
Yeah, that is a fantastic point to finish on. And I definitely agree with the happiness. When you're happy, you make far better decisions when you're in a state of happiness than when you're a miserable bugger. It's just the way it is. So Peter, I want to thank you for coming back on the Podiatry Legends podcast. When your book does come out, we'll get you back on again. We'll do a bit of a book promo. And you want to be fantastic. I can grab some of the podiatrists that I've done book reviews with before. We'll get a copy of your book. We'll read it. We'll do a book review, but we'll get you on while we do the book review.
Wow, that's great.
And then we can ask you questions about it too. We go, well, we read this part. This is what we think it means. What does it mean? And you might go, you're completely off, or you might be going, that's spot on. So I reckon that would be a fun podcast to do.
I would love that. That'd be definitely fun. Thank you.
Okay, Peter. So thank you very much. And I look forward to catching up with you in a couple of weeks' time.
Can't wait to see you and your family.